Kid. Excuse me. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, karibu. Welcome. This is Kenyan Revolutionary, as you know. For another session, for another day. Let's talk politics. Matters politics, as far as Kenyan politics is concerned. So I'm very specific in this. If you're new to this channel and you're wondering, who is this person talking with the name Kenyan Revolutionary? What is this channel about? It's about Kenyan politics. Everything happening in Kenya, as far as politics is concerned. We can always touch on some other things. Sometimes we talk about, politics. But in general, it's Kenyan politics. So karibuni sana. Thank you so much. I'm giving you guys time to make your way in. Find a seat, grab a drink, grab something to eat, snack, whatever. Ingieni hapa. We are ready. Are you ready? No, I can see you guys are not ready. You're not ready, but it's okay. Even if you're not ready, that's okay. Vicky Hanel, nice seeing you. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well over there. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, my sister. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I am here doing just fine. Ready for another day. Now, like I said yesterday, that, there's some things we can't avoid. They're like accidents you can't avoid. One of them is this whole brouhaha, the fabricated beef, okay? The conjured up beef between the president and his deputy, the Kenyan president who is William Samoei Ruto, and his deputy president Gachagua. Let's just go through this, and see what's this whole thing is all about. Okay, now, very something very, very interesting that I picked up from somebody in one of these rallies of Gachagua and all these people that I would like to share with everyone. And I have my own theory on this, and maybe you might chime in on this if you want, if you feel differently or you agree with me. You don't have to agree with me, of course, but I'm just saying there's something very fishy, something interesting. Somebody in Gachagua's rally, one of those rooftop meetings, roadside meetings, drives that Kenyan politicians are notoriously known to do. There's something that was declared or revealed to us that I thought was, very interesting. I'll get to that too. But anyway, just if you're wondering, the topic today is Gachagua's impeachment. Kenyans are buying into it. I'm asking, are Kenyans buying into it? That was supposed to be the question. Let's see if really they are buying to it. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think majority of Kenyans can see through this, but we have to talk about it. Let me take you and give you context over this. I'll play your video just so you can know what you're talking about. While I do that, please, if you're coming in right now, go ahead and like the video. If you're already subscribed, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Hit it. Sorry. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I won't charge you. I won't ask for money. I won't ask you for any favors. Just subscribe. It's free. Of course, for those of you who have deep pockets, if you are impressed with the work I'm doing, I've been screaming here like a broke pimp. You can be like, you know what? I feel sorry for you, man. You've been here, you're preaching, whatever. Yeah, here, shikilia Billy. Yeah, she'll keep $2, $3, whatever the case is. I will appreciate it, but you don't have to. I'm not asking for it, but if you want to, that's okay. It supports the channel, keeps stuff on. I can pay my bills. I'm not asking you to help me pay my bills, but I can do that. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's not divert. Let me not divert your attention to what's really going on. As I said, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. If it's your first time and you're wondering, this is about Kenyan politics, hit the subscribe button. And if you're already getting the notification and you're just coming in, like the video. That's the first order of business. You know what's up, right? All right. So here it is. Let's talk about Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua. You would think that's a French name. Rigathi Gachagua. Bonjour, Rigathi Gachagua. But anyway, here it is. Let me just play you this video for a second so it can kind of guide us through what we're about to really address, okay? Sawa. Hold on. Let me put the video visit. Here it is, Rigathi Gachagua. Please take it over. Let's take this clip and get to it. Like I said, while I do this, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Ndio hiyo inaanza. Sorry.
Tukiachana na hilo, tuangazie hili ambapo naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua amesema kuwa yeye ndiye sababu ya watu wa Mlima Kenya kumpa kura Rais William Ruto, na iwapo atatimuliwa basi na rais afuate mkondo. Kwenye ziara yake ya kaunti za mashariki mwa Mlima, Gachagua amejitetea na kusema kuwa katu hatotishwa na vitisho vya kumbandua. Mwanahabari wetu Ibrahim Karanja anaarifu.
Akiwa na saa tu za kuhesabu kabla ya mjadala wa kumbandua afisini kufikishwa bungeni, naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua alichagua kaunti zilizo mashariki mwa Mlima kujitetea. Eneo hilo likiwa ni eneo lililoanzisha moto mkali wa kisiasa unaomkumba kwa sasa, na pia ni eneo anakotoka Profesa Kithure Kindiki anayetajwa kama mrithi wake mwafaka.
Ningeomba rais wetu akubali tufanye kazi, tufanyie Wakenya kazi, si ndio? Tulipewa na yeye miaka 5, tumefanya miaka 2, kazi bado anza, mambo mingi imekwama. Akubali, ndio miaka imebaki 3, tufanyie wananchi nini? Vile ataamua mbele, tutaheshimu uamuzi wao. Mliokuwa Dwaito
alisimama mjini Embu, Runyenjes, Chuka, Nkubu, Meru na Makutano alikutaja kuwa watu wa eneo hili walimpa rais kura kwa kuwa yeye Gachagua alikuwa kwenye tiketi hiyo.
Kwa tiketi moja. Kweli ama uongo? Kama utaki Rigathi Gachagua, hata William Ruto utaki, si ndio? Siko namna hiyo. Sasa kuna watu wanaenda kumwambia rais ati hata kama Gachagua hakuweko ungechaguliwa. Ni uongo ama ni uongo? Kama mimi singekuwa pale kwa ile karatasi, mungepigia President William Ruto? Mungempigia? Rais, tafadhali, wewe ni ndugu yetu. Wewe wa Meru walikupenda, wa Kikuyu walikupenda, wa Embu walikupenda. Hiyo rais, barabara watu wanakupeleka, watakupotosa.
Ila iwapo ni lazima aende, basi rais naye asisazwe.
Sasa itakuwaje? Utaki Gachagua, unataka William Ruto? Inawezekana? Kama utaki Gachagua, si ndio?
Kama Kimani Ichung'wah atajaribu kuleta huo mswada bungeni, tutaweka mswada mwingine wa kusema William Ruto pia aende nyumbani.
Na mimi nauliza Mheshimiwa Rais kwa heshima, usikubali kuchafua serikali yako. Usikubali kudanganywa na vijana wale wamekuzunguka. Ati ukuje uvukuze naibu wa rais ambaye ako na wafuasi mamilioni ya watu. Wewe rais, ukikubali hiyo, utakosana na watu milioni 7 ya Mount Kenya.
Eneo hili la mashariki mwa Mlima likiaminika kuwa litakalofaidika zaidi kwa kupokea unaibu rais iwapo Rigathi atatemwa nje, kikosi chake kimetaja hilo kuwa njama ya kugawanya Mlima.
Sikindekeni mtoto wetu, sisi tunaweza mpiga, yeye anaweza kubali kupiga Gachagua. Wenye kutumia watoto wetu muache, msitupiganishe sisi. Sisi ni kitu kimoja, na mtu yeyote anataka kugawanya sisi ni adui yetu, kwa sababu umoja wetu ndio nguvu yetu.
Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Okay. So Gachagua is basically saying, hey, listen, Ruto, wewe huwezi nitoa, ukinitoa basi wewe pia utatolewa, okay? And we've seen this thing is kind of bringing up, and some people are asking, where is this coming from? Who initiated this idea of impeachment? Here's my theory. I always said it, and I will maintain it again. This was all organized from way before. And the same script as you've seen on the thumbnail, the same script is being repeated with the same bad actors. Now, let me take you back. Let me jog your memory real quick before I play you the next video. if you remember the Kenyatta rule administration, okay, after a while, especially the first term, okay, Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta fell out, okay? Walikosana after their bromance when they used to wear same ties and walking around laughing like idiots that they are. Anyway, wakakosana. It was a fake beef ati wamekosana, whatever the case is. Now, notice what happened before Kosani. Of course, the handshake is what threw everything off the rail, so to speak. That was what we were meant to believe. Huyu mzee akiingia kwa serikali, mambo inatenga watu. Inatutenga na ninio naibu rais. Remember that? So when Raila got into the handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, then Raila was kind of like the de facto vice president, co-president, whatever you want to call it. That's when the so-called beef with Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto kind of started brewing. Remember that? Now, we see the same trend. Now, some people out of nowhere, especially today, I think Ruto was somewhere in Central Province. I don't know where. I'll play you the clip. There's some leaders who have started pushing on the same narrative. Oh, Raila ameingia hapo, sasa ametuharibia na ninio. Because remember, when Ruto was campaigning in 2022, before he was elected or whatever the case is, read whichever what you believe, his main talking point on the campaign trail was this: mimi na Uhuru tulikuwa tunafanya kazi pamoja without any problems, lakini vile huu mzee wa kitendawili aliingia, hapo ndio our differences came and Uhuru stopped receiving his call and all this nonsense that you know the history, right? Now you see the same thing, and you can remember even Gachagua in the beginning of this administration, the first months of this administration, when Raila was complaining about the vote rigging and Bandamano and all this stuff before the NADCO report. Whenever Gachagua was walking around giving his public speeches, he would remind us that, Ruto tulikuwa tunafanya kazi pamoja vizuri, Ruto na Raila walikuwa wanafanya kazi, Ruto na Uhuru walikuwa wanafanya kazi pamoja mpaka huyu mzee akaingia akakoroga maneno hapo, unaona? So I'll make sure that siingizi huyu mzee hapa asiingie. Then the so-called mzee akakoroga maneno through NADCO, and now he's in the government, unofficially or officially or whatever the case is. So now you see the minions, Gachagua's minions have started pushing the same narrative that Raila ameingia serikali, so Gachagua na Ruto wameanza kukosana. That's what they're starting to say. That you think I'm lying? I will play it to you. I'll show you that. Wameanza. They started this. It's very unfortunate, but it's what it is. These folks have started now. They are preparing. It's the same script. They want to make you believe that, yes, the same mzee akiingia hapo wanakoroga maneno, alafu we have government of national unity. And I told you, pay attention. NADCO is the aim. Government of national unity inakuja. Let's go. Let me show you this very quickly as we go on. Here it is. Okay. And our mama walikuwa huko Central Province, they were talking about the same thing.
Na ndibere ya Ngai haha ne njogotire mundu utari ahoera Raila tukire tukore ndariho. Wotire ona mokorino we haha. Ona mokorino we haha na hoya. Tukire tukore Raila Amolo Odinga ndarikuo. Kama sasa Raila Amolo Odinga ako ndani ya serikali, ni makosa gani Rigiji amefanya? Na si ndani ya serikali, amegawiwa. Uhuru ni kugaithania magaithanetie na akiingira marute wira, lakini hakuna serikali animugawia. Saa hii Raila ako ndani na amegawiwa viti. Rigathi Gachagua awachanwa na yeye. Alichaguliwa na mwananchi, agojewe miaka 5 afanye kazi yake, turudi kwenu mseme kama ako sawa au hayuko sawa. Tiasio marekerithia signature na amwe nginya ground matire makinya kuma hede ya emergency. Shame on them.
I am naona. So you see, the same script, the same playbook, it's been used on us again. We are meant to believe again The same actors. Raila Odinga ameingia kwa serikali, amekuja akatenga hao watu wawili between the president and the deputy president. The same thing with Uhuru and William Ruto. Same thing, Ruto and Gachagua. Now the blame is going to be shifted on Raila. Raila ameingia serikali, now amekuja akawatenga hawa wawili. Now they cannot get along. Same script, and we are buying this. I've been saying this, that this whole thing, this whole Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila, Gachagua, even what's his name, Jimmy Wanjigi, they are in the same club. It's a game that they are running on us. In mchezo town. I'm telling you. Now listen carefully. Somebody came out. I think he's a blogger. Kim Pere. Let me just show you. Let me show you really quickly, because it kind of opened my eye. This guy was participating in one of those roadside speeches that Gachagua was giving, and he said something really, really, really interesting. He said that he was one of the people who was actively organizing the maandamanos across Kenya, the Gen Z maandamanos. His name is Kimpuru something. Let me play you that. Let me show you. I kid you not. This is what caught my eye with this guy when he said this. He's very active on X. I don't know if he was just talking crap just to make people entertain people, or he was really telling something. He was telling us the truth. But here it is. Let me show you what he said, then I will continue this. Here's what he said. It's very shocking. Remember, there was rumors that Jimmy Wanjigi or some leaders of Mount Kenya were funding these mandamanos, these Gen Z mandamanos. Remember that? Remember those days? Of course, this government at first, I think they were confused in general, because they first told us it was the Russians, then they came in and told us it was Gachagua, then they came and told us it was the Ford Foundation. Then Jimmy Wanjigi came out after a while, a few months ago, and said in a podcast that yes, he was part of the people who were financing this Gen Z movement. Now, this guy came out and said this. Let's get this. Let me play this. Hold on. If you can bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Do you? Let me play it again one more time.
Rogers Kipembe. Comrade power. Comrade power. Vijana oi. Vijana oi. Kwa majina mimi naitwa Rogers Kipembe Mpuru. Na hata ukiangalia sura ni Rogers Kipembe Mpuru. Tuko pamoja vijana? Na sisi tuko na imani na Deputy President. Kama wanataka kupeleka yeye nyumbani, wapeleke yeye nyumbani, tutampokea. Tuko pamoja vijana? Na sisi ndio tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z. Na tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z bila kusukumwa na mtu yoyote. Sisi ndio tulifanya, mimi kama Rogers Kipembe. Sisi ndio tulifanya William Samoei Ruto akigeuza serikali yake. Sio yeye. Tuko pamoja vijana? Kwa hivyo tuko ina imani na mdosi wetu, na tuko na imani na serikali yake, na wakitaka chochote tuko tayari. Tuko pamoja. Asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu abariki nyinyi. Thank you very much.
Okay. Before, I'm going to run it one more time, but I want to make this point. Somebody told me that in that Limuru 3, was it Limuru 3 meeting back in the day when the leaders of Mount Kenya met up, there was an agreement from the business sector, the people who, the bigwigs over there. Of course, they had their own issues that they talked about, and they agreed that Uhuru Kenyatta was still to remain the king of Mlima Kenya, the Mount Kenya region, okay? Now, with that also said, it is said that a plan was conjured up by these leaders in the Limuru 3 movement. This is all alleged. Somebody please confirm if you're an insider. And part of the plan was to rattle this government of William Samoei Ruto. I don't know if it was not just rattle or remove William Ruto through popular revolution. And so there was a pledge that money shall be used to finance a nationwide mandamano. Let me take you back. Okay? That a nationwide mandamano was going to be what? Organized and funded by these leaders or businessmen from Mount Kenya region. Again, let me take you back. When the Azimio folks were fighting for that electoral justice, so to speak, in 2022 after they lost, okay? Thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. Nice seeing you. Karibu sana, karibu sana. Yes, so after the 2022 elections, remember when the Azimio folks were saying that the election was stolen, and Raila gave us a protracted speech talking to us about democracy and all that nonsense, and promised that he will agree, he will obey what the Supreme Court says. Okay, and we thought that's what he was going to do. Then when they went to the Supreme Court, Martha Koome said, this is all hot air, you lost fair and square. Now, Azimio, it is said, because they waited 5 months before they started Mandamano, it is said, okay, that Uhuru Kenyatta, who's still kind of the head of Azimio, kind of, like one of the, is he the party leader or something like that, or that coalition party, whatever arrangements they have in Azimio. It is said that Uhuru Kenyatta, urged Raila Odinga to go on with Mandamano, not accept this win by Ruto or the ruling by Ruto. So 5 months after that, Raila Odinga came out and gave a speech and told us that they want something akin to the Kofi Annan Accord. Then after saying that, he announced that if the government does not agree to that, Ruto's administration that is, they shall go on with the Mandamano. And Mandamano, they went. And when the Mandamano commenced, after a few Mandamanos, which were seemingly unsuccessful, Aden Duale, who was the Interior something minister or whatever, CS Minister of Interior at that time, went to Spice FM and made some shocking claims. He said that he could unequivocally state that the Kenyatta family were behind the funding of the Mandamano. Listen to me carefully. This is what he said in Spice FM, that he can unequivocally state that the Kenyatta family were behind funding the Azimio protests that was happening. And again, let me walk you through this. The first 3 Mandamanos were unsuccessful. Nobody really cared. It was just a bunch of people in Kisumu, a bunch of people in Nairobi, a bunch of people in some parts of Nyanza. Not really nationwide, okay? It was a failure by all accounts, okay? Now, let's follow me. Follow me this. After that, the threats kept on going. Raila Odinga, with his press conference, came up and told us, giving us different numbers and all this nonsense. Mara wanataka signature, mara sijui nini, mara gharama ya maisha, mara NADCO. Just a bunch of nonsense, okay? Then, Raila Odinga attended, okay, the ODM people. They went and attended the Jubilee nonsense, whatever, with Gaucho and all these ragtags that are in Azimio. And the next Mandamano, Raila reached out to who? Maina Njenga. Maina Njenga. Let me walk you through this. Please follow me. Follow me with this. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. So please pay attention. Pay close attention. Okay. If you don't know who Maina Njenga is, I will help you. This is the, pretty much, he says he's not Mungiki anymore, but he's the Mungiki leader, okay? We know his history. If you remember from 2007, he's one of those people whose names were mentioned in Okambo, when Okambo was making his case against Uhuru Kenyatta, as the person who Uhuru Kenyatta summoned, met at the State House in 2007, paid some money for the Mungiki guys to go do the atrocities that they committed at Naivasha. Okay? So Maina Njenga is is Uhuru Kenyatta's right-hand man, the guy who does his dirty job on the streets. Okay? He gives him the bag. Maina Njenga goes and calls his Mungiki boys, and they flood the streets and do what they do best, which is cause chaos. You think I'm joking? Go look at when Maina Njenga was arrested somewhere in Naivasha, Nakuru, I think, Nakuru. And Raila Odinga went there, Martha Karua, whatever, they went and helped him get bailed out, whatever the case is. Let me walk you through. So the next Mandamano, you could see there was a video that was circling around where you could see the so-called Mungiki, they were sacrificing a goat, and they were speaking in Kikuyu, they were saying, yeah, we shall go out there, whatever. And at the same time, Gaucho, who's now was the ally, part of this Azimio coalition, went to Jacaranda and they were drinking blood and doing all this stuff, trying to intimidate people, okay? You remember that? Okay. So after that, that's when we started seeing Mandamano in so-called Central Province, okay? Because the complaint was, what was Central, they are not being part of the Mandamano. But after Maina Njenga was brought in the fold, there was a significant Mandamano in Mombasa, after Joho was also told to, gather his goons around the coast, in Kisumu, in Mombasa. Okay, remember that? So then we had these Mandamanos, then it was halted. Ruto had a meeting, agreed to sit down with members of Azimio. I'm walking through this. I'm going somewhere with this. So follow me very carefully. After that, after the whole meeting, when Joho and that Suna MP and Raila and Suluhu met at Mombasa secretly, Maina Njenga came to JKL, okay? And he mentioned that he received a call from Raila Odinga telling him to stop the Mandamano. Remember that? So this basically shows you that Uhuru Kenyatta, this allegation that Uhuru family, the Kenyatta family were involved in the financing of this Mandamano, Azimio Mandamano, seems to have some credible, it's a credible lead if you want to go that route, because you can see the connection. The connection is Maina Njenga, who's Uhuru's, handyman, right-hand man who does his dirty job. Here he is. He joined forces with Raila Odinga and his goons, as ODM goons, to go to Mandamano. And Maina Njenga tells us in public TV, public media, that Raila called him, telling him to stop the Mandamano because he was down in Mombasa with Junet and Joho and Suluhu and Obasanjo discussing NADCO report. Okay? So we've established that there's this triangle. There's the Kenyatta family who are the money people who are financing this whole chaos. Okay? Then you have Raila goons, the ODM part of the goons from Kibera, whatever the case is. Then you have the Mungiki through Maina Njenga. Okay? And Maina Njenga being Uhuru Kenyatta's guy who does the dirty job. Okay? So they joined forces because they were all Azimio at that point, causing all these Azimio atrocities. Okay? So now, one thing that people were saying, especially Kenyans, were saying that this Mandamano was an Azimio Mandamano. It was not Kenyans Mandamano. In fact, what made Azimio stop talking about electoral justice and started talking about Gharama ya Maisha is because there was an actual Mandamano that preceded their Mandamano, which was about Gharama ya Maisha. And most Kenyans were saying, where Raila Odinga stop this nonsense about protest, about electoral justice, because every time there's an election, you always complain, cry about electoral justice. Kenyans do not care about that. The number one concern about most Kenyans is that Gharama ya Maisha iko juu. That was the complaint. And after that, Raila and all his goons, they started going to the streets in the name of Gharama ya Maisha. Remember that? That's why even in NADCO, when they agreed upon everything, they never agreed on the very main reason that the Azimio folks were trying to tell us that they were going for maandamano for, which was what? Cost of living, okay? Gharama ya maisha. So now that we have established this triangle of Aden Duale being somebody who receives intelligence, and that's what he said. I receive intelligence every day, briefings when he was the interior CS, whatever, and he said he can say it unequivocally that the Kenyatta family are behind the funding of the Azimio protest. Now, and then you see Maina Njenga joins in the Azimio maandamano. Maina Njenga is is Uhuru's right-hand man. He joins in Raila with his ODM goons, and you see the chaos that they cause. All right, we've established that. So moving on, the NADCO goes on. NADCO anaenda wanasikizana wakakaa chini. Kalonzo was the useful idiot that was being used to go negotiate this NADCO thing with the other useful idiot, Chongwa, and all these idiots that were there, Cheruiyot and the gang, okay? So they go discuss that. It is discussed, all that, nice and well. Then, okay, then let's fast forward. Finance bill imefika. Mambo ya finance bill. All right? And before this finance bill, there was rumors. You know, Gachagua always maintained his watu wa mlima. Finance billing was approaching. You know, the storm was being created. Okay? Finance bill approach. Okay? People are not happy, whatever the case is. Then the Limuru 3 happened. Okay? And after the Limuru 3, you know, this is when it is said, it is alleged that some of the people who went there, business people from the Mlima Central Province, agreed to fund a national protest. Okay? Not long after that, we see this whole Gen Z thing going on. Remember that? The Gen Z thing was going on after that. And I kept on asking, who is behind the funding of this Gen Z? Because this Gen Z thing was, Wakina Hanifa were acting very funny. We can agree on that. Okay? They were acting, Mara and Kutana DCI and all that. We know the story, okay? Then after that, Jimmy Wanjigi comes out and says in his podcast that, yes, he was funding the maandamano. Before that, he was seen with Eric Omondi, the guy who was running around gathering people, okay? So he says that he was behind financing this Gen Z movement. Now, Kipembe, whatever his name is, I'll play his video one more time. When he's with Gachagua there, there's Nino, and he's a Gachagua supporter. He's publicly telling us that he's one of the people who organized the maandamano, the Gen Z maandamano across the nation. You see what's going on? Are you connecting the dots? Are you connecting the dots to this point? If you haven't, please go play the video back. Start from, I've walked you through, and you can connect the dots by yourself. Let me play this one more time so you can get what I'm trying to say. Now, Kipembe admittedly says on camera here, as his head there, and says they are the ones who organize this nationwide Gen Z movement protest.
Rogers Kipembe. Comrade power! Comrade power! Vijana oi! Vijana oi! Kwa majina mimi naitwa Rogers Kipembe Mpuru. Na hata ukiangalia sura ni Rogers Kipembe Mpuru. Tuko pamoja vijana? Na sisi tuko na imani na Deputy President. Kama wanataka kupeleka yeye nyumbani, wapeleke yeye nyumbani, tutampokea. Tuko pamoja vijana? Na sisi ndio tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z. Na tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z bila kusukumwa na mtu yoyote. Sisi ndio tulifanya, mimi kama Rogers Kipembe, sisi ndio tulifanya William Samoei Ruto akigeuza serikali yake. Sio yeye. Tuko pamoja vijana?
Kwa hivyo tuko ina imani na mdosi wetu na tuko na imani na serikali yake, na wakitaka chochote tuko tayari. Tuko pamoja. Asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu.
So notice, if you are not paying attention, Rogers Kipembe is saying sisi ndio tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z. Sisi ndio tulipanga what? Sisi meaning plural. Not him by himself, but him with other people. He's making it clear that he's a Gachagua's person, is the Gachagua's right-hand man, whatever, supporter, biggest supporter. And he's using the plural word. Sisi ndio tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z. So sisi implies that it's more than one person. Jimmy Wanjigi already said that I funded this Gen Z project. Kipembe, standing right next to Gachagua, is saying sisi tulipanga hii mambo ya Gen Z. And you wonder why Gen Zs cannot replicate what happened in June 25th. We were talking yesterday about how odd it was that the people who went to the bunge, they kind of knew where to go. And there are some places that they went that normal person who has never been to bunge could not access. You have to have special access to those rooms, but they did get into there. Okiya Mtata said that in one of Mark Masai's Sema Box podcast. Go listen to that, Ninio. Google it. It's on YouTube, I think. So does it start making sense now? Does it start making sense? Does it make sense to you that there are people who organize these Gen Z, the very people who organize and are financing these Gen Zs? That's why I asked. There's one day I asked when these protests were going on, and I started asking, who's really behind the financing of this thing, of this Gen Z? Do they have the best interest of majority of Kenyans? Think about it. I know you might think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just giving you something to think about. While everybody's screaming, Ruto must go, Ruto must go, you might think you're going the same direction but you're not going to get to that direction. You're actually playing into somebody's grand plan to take you somewhere where you did not want to go. Think about it. Is it coming together now? And this is not an issue about Mount Kenya leaders versus Ruto. Don't ever get it twisted. This is not it. The leaders of Mount Kenya and the leaders like Ruto administration are one. I'm telling you. Yes, in the public, they're playing as they are beefing in the public, the gallery, but these guys have a bigger plan that they want to implement. But they have to divide wananchi. And they are using wananchi by using this matamshi na mambo ya impeachment and all this. Just look at what's going on. What was the biggest result after the Gen Z movement? What did they achieve? The finance bill was blocked, right? It was never passed. So what are they using to tax us? Legally, what finance bill are they using? Because even the previous one was declared unconstitutional by the courts. So how are they still collecting taxes? Which finance bill are they using? Well, you say they stopped the Ninio. Answer me. These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Don't go to this Ninio blindly. Think about because if you're going to the streets, even if next time we say we are going to the State House, you have to be very clear of what the goal is. You have to be clear. Kuna mchezo wa town inachezwa hapa. So here, UDA party leaders or whatever the case is are the ones who are initiating or are said to be initiating this impeachment thing by Gachagua. Let's listen to what they have to say, because this is also kind of interesting. Listen to. Here it is. Let me play it. Get ready.
The Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, is onto some politics now, where the United Democratic Alliance Party says the plot to impeach the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, is well underway, and that the party is fully behind the motion to kick out its deputy leader. But as the ouster bid gathers steam, several allies of the Deputy President have come out to defend him while calling for the caution in impeachment agenda. Kevin Mutai has more.
In just a matter of hours, an impeachment motion against the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is to be tabled in Parliament, with hundreds of signatures already collected in support of the cause. UDA Secretary General Hassan Omar says the party supports Gachagua's ouster and that the mission to remove him is only held by time.
We will go with the majority members of the UDA party. If the majority members of the UDA party are in support of the impeachment, then the UDA party itself will also support what the members feel is in the best interest of the party and the country.
Gachagua's predicament, UDA says, is as a result of his political gospel of uniting the mountain. He is also accused of disrespecting the president and attempts to scuttle the presidency.
You cannot preach the gospel of ethnicity, malice, division, gospel of exclusion, gospel that tries to incite one group of people against another. He has been the most catastrophic, the most insidious in terms of dealing a very decisive blow to the unity of this country.
We will look at it, and if the grounds are sustainable enough for the impeachment of the Deputy President, we will impeach him. But if the grounds are not sufficient enough, he'll have another chance.
But Gachagua is not without his own army. The remaining Azimio One Kenya Alliance parties, led by Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper, have vowed to stand by him in Parliament. Makueni Senator Dan Manzo says the House is being whipped to hound the DP out, but the numbers are what that matter.
That removal is also unconstitutional and should be challenged in the courts. There are no grounds of removal of Rigathi Gachagua as stipulated in the Constitution. If anyone has broken the Constitution and breached the Constitution many times, many more times than all of us and than Deputy President Gachagua, is Ruto himself. And therefore, if there is anyone to be impeached in this country, it is President Ruto.
Back in his Mount Kenya backyard, camps are already forming, whereas a good number of elected leaders and elders have denounced him as the regional kingpin and opted for Interior CS Kithure Kindiki as his replacement, some calling for caution.
Starting that kind of narrative and discussions at the moment, it is premature, it is prejudicial. Juu hatujui pia makoti ya Kenya itasema nini.
Kukusanya masaini, kukusanya impeachment kwetu hakuna kwa dictionary yetu sisi watu wa mlima, na wale wanapenda amani, hakuna impeachment. Shauri nchi inaweza kusambaratika shauri ya kitu kimoja tu.
Sisi tunaona hiyo inaweza kuwa jama ya kusambaratisha utulivu, amani na ukuzaji wa maendeleo na uchumi katika sehemu ya mlima.
The impeachment motion will be tabled on Tuesday, marking the first step in the long and arduous task of removing the second in command. Will the chicken come home to roost, or will he survive? Kevin Mutai, NTV.
Okay. So you see that they want to go on with this impeachment. Now, if you even look at the grounds in which they want to remove Gachagua, not that I care whether he's impeached or not, but what are the grounds? Because he's going around saying I'm the kingpin, sisi ni watu wa mlima, so that is dividing people. That's not enough. It's not a threshold to remove Nani. He can run to court and say, hey, listen, this does not meet any, even though he might be literally voted out, but it's not. Okay? If he was corrupt, if he had stolen money, maybe walete hizo kesi zake za kitambo, whatever. But I don't know what he has done since he has been the deputy president of Kenya that can be grounds for impeachment. Let's see how it plays out. But what I'm telling you is this. We can now establish that there are some people probably allied to Gachagua based on what Rogers Kimpembe, whatever his name is, has said, that in that rooftop, in that car, top of the car, pronouncement he made in a roadshow, who said, sisi ndio tulipanga mambo ya Gen Z, which means some people that were allied to Gachagua were behind the funding and organizing of this Gen Z movement. You see what I'm saying? Now, if that is the case, which seems to be the case, you even had Nani, I think it was even Gachagua said, if I'm to go, Ruto pia aende. Okay? So if that's the case, then this shows me one thing. Okay? If Gachagua is behind this, okay, the Nani today, Jimmy Wanjigi posted something, mtu alienda kamwaga damu mbele ya his gate or something like that, threatening his life basically. Nasema life yake is in danger. If that is the case, and Jimmy Wanjigi's, Gachagua, all these people are behind this Gen Z protests that threaten to remove Ruto, what is their aim? What was their aim? Because their aim is not to remove. I don't think they wanted. If they really wanted to remove Ruto, why did they stop? Ama Ruto aliwagundua. I know people are talking about regrouping and all that. That is the question we should settle before any other Occupy State House or trying to remove Ruto, because I'm all with it. If it's about removing Ruto, I'm with it. Ruto needs to go like yesterday. But the question is, are we in the same page? Gachagua. Kimpembe has said, sisi tulipanga hii mambo ya Gen Z. Gachagua was said to have been financing this. I mean, they have money. Jimmy Wanjigi has money. What is their end game? That is the question we need to interrogate. Walikuwa wanataka kufanya nini? They wanted to install Gachagua? Is that the game here? And again, as I've said, the same script is being followed. Sasa tumeanza ile ujinga ya ati Raila alikuja kwa serikali akatutenga and split the two between the deputy and the president. You see the same script with the same bad actors, Raila being one of them, the main protagonist in this story, along with Ruto and Uhuru. Don't you think this is a game that is being played on Kenyans? Distraction, kila pahali. Because let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Tafadhali, kaa chini. Sit down. We have to have a serious conversation. Let me explain something to you. What this impeachment is simply going to do is to raise tribal tension between communities. And there are some people that are being used to do this. I mention it to you, the Kalumas, the Kimpembe, whatever this guy, Rogers Kimpembe, whatever his name is, the Gachaguas, the Robert Alais, the Oscar Sudis, the Moses Kuria, Kindiki has even been caught up there. This is the aim, because one thing about Kenya, when problems arise and we know where these problems are stemming from, we know the leaders that are responsible for these problems, we know the people who are in position that can solve these problems. But the thing is, they're in cahoots with the people who are actually plundering this country, who are corrupt. So one thing that they know and they understand, that's an emotive issue that can bring the country into standstill and make you forget about everything else. Make you forget about corruption, make you forget about njaa, make you forget everything, is to raise the temperature, tension, tribal strife, tribal tension. And this is exactly what they're doing. That's why you see it is the UDA aligned politicians who are coming up with this, this impeachment thing, because they want to pit. Because the UDA, let's just keep it real. These parties are representations of communities. ODM is a Luo party. Jubilee is a Kikuyu party. UDA is a Kalenjin party. Wiper is a Wakamba party. Okay, Ford Kenya is a Luya party. Now, if UDA are the one who are pushing this motion to impeach Gachagua, that is basically saying Wakalenjin wanajitoa, they are stopping this at least that's what they're trying to paint. Get me very clearly. At Wakalenjin wanaanza kujitenga na Wakikuyu. This collaboration that started in 2013, because before that there was high tension between Kalenjins and Kikuyus after 2007. So they want to raise up temperatures, tribal tension between communities they are trying to impeach Gachagua. If you ask them why they're trying to renew Gachagua, because Gachagua anasema mambo, I can care less if nani asema yeye ni mtu wa mlima for 100,000 times. That's not against the law. Even though I think as a deputy president, he should be, be more nationalistic in his outlook, okay, and help Ruto, because that's what is constitutionally he's supposed to be. Ruto's, number one cheerleader, basically. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is this. So the narrative is the UDA wanaleta hii kitu, okay? Listen to me carefully. Watu wa Kalenjin ndio hao wameleta hii nio kwa sababu wamewachana na watu wa Kikuyu, the central people, wamejishikana na Raila. And some of these central province leaders, like you heard on that clip that I play you, they are playing into this game. Ukiwasikia ati, unajua nini? Raila ameingia huko ndani, akachukua Ruto, akadanganya Ruto, akamwambia ati awachane na hawa wa Kikuyu, because the ninio is the same old adage, or with the fake ninio, is that Raila is never accepted in the central province. Will never be accepted, which is true. Kind of. There's a level of ninio. They say that. That's why the people of Central Province did not agree with Uhuru Kenyatta when he was trying to sell Raila in Central Province. Okay? So, you see, the Kalenjins are bringing this. I'm telling you what this is the narrative they want to paint. Wakalenjin wameleta hii impeachment, watoe mtu wetu Gachagua. So, in essence, Raila amekuja, that's why you see Raila amekuja kwa serikali, akadanganya Ruto, huyo mganga akaroga Ruto akawachana na Wakikuyu, akashikana na Wajaluo. Sasa Raila ameingia kwa serikali, ametenga Wakikuyu. So tension will start rising against Wakikuyu don't get along with Kalenjins and the Luos. That is the narrative that they want to paint here. And if you understand historically, just look at 2007, even 17. It's not so far. So Wakikuyu will already, you see Nani anashikana na Gachagua is hugging Gachagua already, the Nani, Kalonzo Musyoka and the gang, and Wamalo, and you see how the realignments inafanyika. But it is all done to raise tribal tension, because Kenya, ukabila is so strong. That's the strongest thing that is also playing into our politics. Okay? We are willing, people are willing to excuse the atrocities that tribal chieftain has committed, as long as huyo ni mtu wao. Oparanya has been stealing in Kakamega for the past 10 years. But akianza kushika utasema, hey, they are targeting Wabaluya. Raila has been conning Luos for and his corrupt deals and whatever for I don't know how many years, 30 years now. Lakini ukisema usiguze baba, usisema mambo ya baba hapa. Uhuru has been destroying this country for the past what? 10 years? Killing people. Lakini ukisema huyo ni mtu wetu, huyo ni mtu, he's our kingpin. Ruto is destroying Kenya. Enda ukaseme ati Ruto is destroying Kenya in huko Nandi huko useme wewe. Hey! That's the whole point. Because it's distraction, so you don't pay attention to what they're doing. And after this maandamano, after he succeed, look at the results of the maandamano. It will only benefit the very, very same people. Utawasikia, ndio maana unaona they are pushing for this narco thing. You even heard Sifuna when he was advocating for this narco thing. They're saying that this narco thing is going to be a solution to what these Gen Zs are complaining about in the streets. Gypsy Corner is telling me, Ken Rebel, I'm not buying anything because if they really remove Gachagua, Ruto will have a lot exposed. Nothing is going to happen. And why are they waiting for Tuesday for it to get to the parliament? Good point. Good point. Pastor Dorcas, Gachagua's wifey, warned us today that no one can remove Gachagua from the altar. Yeah. Kwa sababu mambo imepamba moto. So they want destruction. And they know. Tukiendanga kwa ninio in the polls, the number one thing that moves majority of the voters is tribe. Believe it or not. Because historically, it has always been a coalition of tribes, tribal chieftains. It has always been a coalition of tribal chieftains. I'm going to vote for Ruto because I'm a lawyer and Ruto is in one coalition with Wamalwa. I'm going to vote for whoever because my tribal chieftain is in coalition with whoever that is. That is how it is. So they have to bring that tension back. And the end game, I'll tell you, as I keep on telling you, and I have to remind you time and time and time after time, the end game is going to be government of national unity. Broad-based government. BBI. Bullshit Bridges Initiative. So the next step is to change the constitution. Have you ever heard them talk about changing the constitution? You'll hear them. Let me predict. Let me make your prediction here very quickly. After history ya Gachagua ikiisha, hii mambo ya ninio, hii mambo ya impeachment ikishapoa na ikaisha, the next thing you'll hear is ni changing the constitution. Wataleta moto, maandamano na vita, watu central sijui nini. They create a crisis in order for you to accept the solution that they will bring to the so-called, the very crisis that they've created. Hegelian dialectic. Crisis itapanda. Utasikia watu wa mlima wamepanda bwana na hasira. And the people of Ninio pia watapandwa na hasira. Mpaka aende Gachagua sijui nini and all this. Na mambo itaanza kurukaruka huku hivi. We will follow. But the end game, utasikia hata watasema, you know what? The solution is so that we accommodate watu wa mlima, so that we accommodate the people of Nyanza, so we can accommodate wa people wa Mombasa, wapi. Let's change this constitution where Gachagua can be sijui head of sijui nini. Raila can be sijui nini. Even Uhuru, they'll bring him back. Kwa sijui mkubwa wa nini. That is the aim. Listen carefully. I'll be there. Pep Guardiola tells us. I'll be there. Sio mchezo. This is how they want it. Same script. Same bad actors. And we are lapping it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are in Kenya. But we'll be here to see it unfold. We'll be here to see it unfold. All of it. Okay? It's tribe and religion to smoother the mass. Yes, religion is the opium of the people. In Kenya, tribe is the opium of the people. Yeah? Tribe and religion. In Kenya, that is what it is. True words haven't been spoken. Kweli kabisa. Kweli na aspro. Ndio maana unaona Gachagua is running around making all these interviews. He's the main man. Do you hear anyone talking about maandamano? When was the last time you heard somebody say, let's occupy in your state house? Can someone tell me? When was the last time? No one is talking about maandamano now. Sahi ni Gachagua. Sahi hakuna mtu anaongea mambo ya let's remove Gachagua. Hakuna hata moja. Nobody. Hakuna. The shift, the linear has shifted. The goal has shifted. Now let's see. In fact, now people are suggesting that Gachagua might be the person who will help bring down Ruto. I can't make this up. Some people think that Gachagua is going to be the man to bring down Ruto. That's why they're happy. They're like, you know what? Wacha wapigane. Kwa sababu Gachagua will remove Ruto. Sindio kuna watu wa Gachagua wamesema ati if they bring a motion to remove Gachagua, we shall bring a motion to impeach Ruto. You don't think this is a game? Ni mchezo wa town. At least there's some people who are not buying this crap. But
na wacha nikwambie, sisi Ruto aufikiri the repercussion yenye itakuja. Sababu gani? Sahi unataka kutenga watu wa mlima Kenya. Na wacha nikwambie, sisi kama jamii ya Wajaluo hatutakupea kura. Heri urudi tu mlima mahali ulikuwa. Ni nini mulikosania na watu wa mlima? Hakuna hata yoyote. Ni uongo zako ndo zilikutoa pale. Uongo zako na mambo mingi na kuharibu Kenya ndo ilikutoa pale. Ukakuja pande yetu. Pande yetu ukikuja usifikirie ya kwamba eti sisi tutakupea kura. Na kuambia William Ruto, kama utatoka na kura mingi Luo Nyanza, hata uchukue mama yangu weke deputy yako. Hata uchukue mtoto wangu weke deputy yako. Sikudanganyi bila kukuficha. Utapata kura 2,500, sikudanganyi. Ruto aufikiri the repercussion.
Hey. Umesikia hapo Ruto? Yeah. It's like that. Hey. What afikiria? Ole Sapit, I think it's Bishop Ole Sapit or whatever the case is, had some words for Ruto too. Let me see if I can adjust my thing here. Mambo yangu inaharibika hapa sijui nini. Like the video, tafadhali, as we get in. Let's get to it. Here is Ole Sapit warning Ruto as usual. Tusikie mawaidha. Okay, here it is. Mnaiona? Okay, nice.
Ole Sapit on the ongoing frenzy over plans to impeach Deputy President. And welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Yulanzale. Now, it could all be a massive cover-up exercise. That is the take of the Anglican Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit on the ongoing frenzy over plans to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
The country's head of the Anglican Church says the Gachagua impeachment could all be a diversionary tactic to drive the country's attention from recent controversies and specifically the planned shadowy takeover of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by Indian company Adani Group, believed to be fronted by influential local figures.
As our very own Seth Olala reports, the Anglican Archbishop warned that Kenyans are fed up with the circus.
While presiding over the retirement service of Nairobi Diocese Bishop Joel Waweru at St. Stephen's Cathedral Church along Nairobi's Jogoo Road, Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit said politics surrounding the deputy president's impeachment circus could be diversionary tactic aimed at shielding the ongoing scrutiny regarding the controversial Adani critical infrastructure takeover deals and social health insurance fund transition. As such, the Archbishop told Kenyans to remain alert regarding the governance queries being highlighted by various audit agencies, including Parliament, and not be drawn into the current political storm, pitting the president against his deputy president.
We don't know whether the current noises in the political front are genuine when we hear of impeachments of governors, now of the deputy president, or they are noises to cover up other things like the Adani and things that are hidden on the tables. Our prayer is that Kenyans need a break.
Sapit called for an end to the heightened political activity being witnessed in the country, saying Kenyans are fed up with politics and instead demand adequate service delivery from politicians.
After we fought, we expect them to work for 5 years without noise. But Kenya has never known how to conclude an election. We elect leaders, tomorrow they begin a campaign for the next 5 years without considering that Kenyans need a break.
Ninyi mheshimu wananchi waliowachagua. Na kama nilivyosema wakati mwingine, nao wananchi waheshimu viongozi.
We are one people. There's more that unites us than divides us. And that is what we believe in. So please don't worry about the politics you're seeing going on. Hiyo ambayo inakuja bunge next week na huko kwingine, don't worry.
The religious leaders demanding that all government contracts be made public in order to prevent any suspicious corrupt deals.
When you are dealing with public resources, don't put them under the table, bring them to the service. And the Constitution 2010 gave Kenyans an opportunity for public participation. Let us engage the public clearly, honestly, in an open manner.
Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a nice mass or message from the Ole Sapit Bishop, whatever his name is. Nice message. Let's not be distracted, but let's wait and see. You sarakasi utaendelea. We'll be here for it. Okay? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday. I know tomorrow you have things to do, work and all that stuff, school. So I will stop it here. Thank you very much, Gypsy Corner and Vicky Hanel and all that are watching behind the scenes who dropped by. Please, if you're going to watch this on repeat, make sure you like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and put your notification on. And I'll meet you tomorrow. Okay? All right. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you later. I'm out.